So today's hike is somewhat unusual because it's not a Bruce Trail hike and it's not your conventional hike. So this is fourth line near the border of Oakville and Milton, fourth line, and so the yellow line running right through the middle of the page from bottom to top is the hydro line, and the green winding area is, of course, 16 Mile Creek Ravine. Today's hike I followed the red line there under the hydro lines and into the forest to see what was going on there. Pretty good. So I'm going to show you some photographs next. The description of this video below will have the exact address and GPS coordinates and good fun like that. So let's look at the photos. Today's hike was done on April 19th. And as I explained in the opening remarks, I hiked in underneath the hydro lines. So it's been quite wet this month. This dirt that you see is quite soft and wet in spots. And with that, I was able to see a lot of deer tracks that went across this area. They weren't running parallel to the lines, they were running across. So we'll more about that later. So continuing under the lines towards the ravine, getting closer now. So when we got to the edge, I took a picture. So the thing about the ravine for 16 Mile Creek in this area is the walls of the ravine are really steep, and you can't even go climb up and down them in almost every spot. So there's another look looking north and west, I guess. Some more of the same. Now we're getting at the point where you can actually see the hydro lines crossing 16 Mile Creek. Quite a gap. And as we get near the wooded area, another picture. So now we turned and went into the woods, and I was pleased and surprised to see a road that we could follow, which indicated at least we won't be hiking through thorn bushes and so on. So a lot of water laying around yet. Moved on down, and then we came to kind of a logging road thing to drop down into the valley. Right there, kind of half washed out. Now, what we have there, right in the middle of the screen, if you can see it, is what they call a tree stand. That is what deer hunters use to sit on so they can get a good shot at the deer when they pass by. I wouldn't want to sit on that thing. It doesn't look too sturdy. But that's what it is. So then we carried on down this. This trail is, I don't think it's wide enough for a pickup, but certainly for an ATV. And we followed it. There's the actual creek itself. And then we're getting near the canyon wall. You see how steep it is. So what I wanted to show you here was these tracks lead right from here through the stream and then on to other places. We're going to see that in other spots too. So otherwise you wouldn't be able to get up and down the valley because most of often the ravine is in fact cliffs and you can't even climb up them. So I guess that's what the hunters are doing. I'm not sure. So that's a look further on down the stream. As you can see, there are some areas flat enough to walk on, but you certainly couldn't get up there, could you? Turned around, try to head the opposite direction to see if there was an area you could climb out of the ravine from there, you know, like another exit or whatever. Everything here on either side is probably too steep to climb up. Maybe you could climb up there. I'm not sure, but we didn't. So this is my signal to myself that we turned around and went the other way. We went past the road that we came down on to see what that was like. And once again, what we get is it's apparent that people are driving vehicles of some sort across the very shallow water, 10 inches at the very most. And there's a road that resumes that way. So that's what the folks that are down there are doing, and I think they're hunters. So another look at it there. You can see the tracks that again there, right? And that path seemed to carry on up the valley that way. There's a look further on down. So then we turn around and headed back up the same little road we came in through. And when we got to the top of the ravine, I turned around, took a picture down in the valley, trying to get a perspective of how quickly that falls over there. That's pretty deep, and very steep. So on the way back, we started to look into the forest and saw all kinds of evidence of probably the hunters are in there somewhere, or if they have a season or whatever. This is a tiny, like mini bottle of liquor that used to get on the airplanes, right? That's stuck on the tree. There was 2 of them, and that, as I believe, is a marker for the hunters to enter into to get to wherever the tree stand is, or whatever they do. There's another one off in the distance that seems to be made out of wood strapped onto an existing dead tree of some sort. So then we headed on back, and that wrapped up our day. So let me just go back here. And the thing about the 16 Mile Creek Ravine is I have a video on Glen Orchy as well, where that hike just goes along the edge of the ravine at the very top. So the whole portion of 16 Mile Creek, what they call the Glen Orchy Park, and further north, seems to be very difficult to actually hike anywhere in the valley for any significant length of time. And so I will endeavor to see if I can learn more spots to access. This hydroline area had no signs that said no trespassing or whatever. I read in a document created by the people who are trying to organize Glen Orchy that that there may in fact be a trail system under the hydroline. So certainly the hunters seem to be accessing it here, but officially I don't know the answer. Nobody hassled me.